at the Hawaii Procurement Technical Assistance Center. I'm also today, so like Marla said, we're going to be talking about, so you want a government contract, kind of where to start, but more about navigating SAM.gov and the Hawaii state kind of opportunity or website called HANDS. I am part of the Hawaii Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and the links, if you wanted to sign up, first, we're a nationwide PTAC, as I will explain a little bit about our organization, but you can find your own PTAC if you're not from Hawaii at the link on this slide. And then if you are a business in Hawaii, you can come and sign up to that www.hiptac.org on this slide on the bottom. So we're a team of 4. As I said, my name is Miklas Ogawa. We also have 2 other procurement counselors and a program manager. We're part of a national kind of program called the Procurement Technical Assistance Program. And we have, over 300 centers across 49 states. We were authorized by Congress in 1985, kind of just in an effort to expand the number of businesses capable of participating in the government marketplace. So that's the PTAC program. But, the PTACs are the Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, we're the organizations that work directly with you guys. Just a little bit about us here in Hawaii. We cover all of the state, and then we're funded in part through the federal government, which is DLA at the moment, and then administered by UH. Our mission is, to really focus on government procurement. We're trying to help small businesses how to understand how to sell their products and services to the government. Government contracts, we want to help create new jobs, retain jobs, generate income for small businesses, and just really help the local economy stay strong. The best part about all of this is that our services are free. Here at Hawaii PTAC, we provide a wide range of assistance to businesses. And as I mentioned, all of the assistance and training are free. The first one is one-on-one counseling. We can advise from, the very start to, even like reviewing contracts or, your bids that you're going to be turning in. We do custom bid matching, which I will be talking about a little later in this presentation. Market research, federal registrations such as SAM.gov, bid preparation assistance. Although we won't really write the bid for you, we can definitely be a second set of eyes, help guide you through about what would be the best process to do that. We do education and training, things like today. We help with business networking. A lot about government contracts is about who you know, so we can kind of put you in touch with the right people, and can definitely help with small business certifications, such as women-owned small business or veteran-owned small business, hub zone, things like that. There are some things that we do not assist with. So, we don't give financial advice. We're not a bank, so we don't offer loans. We don't give general business advice, or usually we don't work with pre-startups or help with business registrations. If you need that help, you can reach out to Marla or some of our other business partners. This is the main website for AppTac. So this is where you can actually find your PTAC if you're not in Hawaii. This is what the homepage looks like, and up there where the yellow arrow is, it's a blue Find a PTAC button. You can go and search for the nearest PTAC near you. This is what our website looks like. So you can go to hiptac.org, as I mentioned earlier, and there should be a sign up now button. So getting more into the agenda, what I'm gonna be covering today, live overview of SAM.gov opportunities. So basically how to navigate the search function to search for contracts that might be good for you, and also some other tips and tricks and things to look out for on that site. I'm gonna be going over hands and some of the state and local county procurement websites, and then I'll do a little brief overview of Bidmatch, which is a service that we can provide for our clients. So let me share my screen now about SAM.gov. Are you guys able to see this, Marla? Okay. Should be okay. Let me know if you guys can't see this, but anyway, so this is the SAM.gov homepage. Basically, it's just literally SAM.gov. This is kind of where a lot of the government websites are being congregated into. The thing that we're going to be talking about today is contract opportunities, which used to be FedBizOps. As you can see down here, is the first under this kind of bubble or box over here. So yeah, let me get into it. So you would go to homepage, right down here, contract opportunities. You click on this first link. And you'll see this page right here. You can put in keywords or the contract number, maybe the solicitation notice number, things like that. But I really like going to this advanced search, and this is where I usually tell people that I talk to go to, just because it has a lot more filters and options, and you can really get down to searching for what you want versus just this general search contract opportunities box here. So I always like going here, advanced search. And as you can see, so this is kind of like right when you get to the page after advanced search, it's really, as you can see there up here, there's 97,000 results. So that's kind of like saying like there's 97,000 active contracts out there. One kind of thing to mention though is that because the government has been kind of trying to migrate all the sites into SAM, like I said, FBO, some of the really older contracts from 2018 or 2017, sometimes they weren't clicked as inactive. So you'll get them. Sometimes you'll see, really old contracts. So that's kind of going into one of the filter options that I will be talking about later, which is dates, or sort by, which is this updated date. But first, you can see on this left side, this is where all the filters are. And these are really the things that you would want to toggle on and off or use to narrow your search. So the first thing is this keyword search. So if you're just really starting out on how to kind of look through SAM, this is kind of where I would start, just to kind of get a real feel about it. You can usually, I like to tell clients, put in keywords about what you're trying to look for. So if it's construction, put construction. If it's roofing, or maybe you have a service, things like that, you can put keywords there. You can use this search also to find very specific things. Like you can see up here, there's a notice ID number. All of the SAM kind of things that are input into SAM have a notice ID number. So if you do remember what you were searching for before, you can kind of write that down and you can put it back into this keyword search. There's 3 options. So any word would be really broad, all words, or exact phrase. You can do those things, and you can type it in here. So for example, we can put in construction, and then kind of see how that works out. So as a construction is one of the bigger industries that the military puts out contracts for. So as you can see, 97,000 kind of goes down to 10,000, which is still a lot. And you would still, that's a lot of things to go through. So you would definitely want to use other filters to kind of narrow that search down. But this is just an example. So other filters down here that you can use, this one is federal organization. So this is like, for example, maybe you found out that, you have a certain product that the Navy really wants to buy. That is the agency that you really want to sell to versus other agencies. So you would go down here, you can type in Navy, and this would be, the filter to like only sub-tier Department of Navy. You could do other things, like you can keep adding them. So if you wanted to also look for Army, there's many, but you could do Department of Army too, and they would show both of the Navy and Army solicitations out there. This one's really good, just, to see if you're doing like specific target marketing, as I said. Next filter, that's this one's really, really important. So as I mentioned, you'll be getting a lot of, sometimes if you don't do this updated date and just by relevance or something, sometimes you'll get C, for example, this first one is 2017. You're like, obviously this contract is not active anymore. So you wouldn't really want to, search for it unless you're just trying to do past contract research about trying to get a feel like what certain agencies are putting out there in the past. But if you're looking for a specific contract or contracts that you can bid on right now, then you would definitely want to use this dates or this sort by. So usually I like to go down here, dates, and I really like doing this, especially if you want to find contracts that you can actually respond to, is response date offers due. So they have a lot of options, but usually next day, next 3 days, or next week, that's a little too fast to throw together a bid. So usually I like to go the next month or next 3 months. And this is really good just to see when are the current offers due. So and then I also like to go updated date here. So you can see there's a few out here. This one's in Georgia, but current response due date is October 31st. So obviously you can definitely respond to this notice. There's also updated date over here, but usually I just like to play around with this response due date, especially if you're looking for ones that you can respond to in the future. Otherwise, you can try to play around with this updated date. They also have the similar options down here. There is also custom dates. So you can, if you really want to be really specific, then you can use this custom date down here. But I like just doing 3 months. The next really important filter is this notice type. So there's kind of 4 major notice types that you would want to pay attention to. So if you click down here, there's a bunch of them, but there's 4 that are really important. So the first one is sources sought, and this is really a notice type that a lot of people don't know about and don't really pay attention to, but it's very, very important actually for trying to, one, find work that may be coming out soon, and then trying to kind of build that pipeline or kind of network with some of the contracting agencies out there. Sources sought, what it is it's what a contracting agency or a department uses as kind of like market research. They put out a notice, a sources sought notice. It's not a contract yet. It's more of just simply market research. They'll say that inside the sources sought notice that, this is just a sources sought purely for marketing purposes. But what it is they're going to put out basically like a summary scope of work And they're going to be asking like, okay, is there small businesses out there, or is there like women-owned small businesses or veteran-owned small businesses that think that they can perform this work? And they'll give a scope of work, things like that. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to see, the government has this goal. 23% of contracts need to go to small businesses. And of that, there's sub tiers, which is, 8A, Hub Zone, women owned small business, veteran service disabled small business. So they're trying to look for and set aside these contracts for small business. And they're needing usually two or more small businesses, or whatever it is that they're trying to do. For example, women-owned small business to respond to the sources sought, and then they can kind of set it aside for small business or women-owned small business, for example. And how this can help you actually a lot is this can kind of eliminate a lot of the competition, especially if you are a small business, or if you are a women-owned small business. Because if you know if small businesses don't respond to these sources thoughts, then they just put the notice or the bid out to everybody, and that will include all of the big prime contractors, things like that, that already have a lot of government contracts, or are a lot bigger than the small businesses. So it is really good for you guys to go and look for these sources thoughts and respond to them. Usually they're looking for just general information, like what's your business name, who's the point of contact. Sometimes they ask for past performance or references, and they'll like say, okay, can you just give us like a quick summary about like, can you perform this work, things like that. And it is a lot more flexible in terms of due dates, things like that, versus the solicitations. So in a sources sought, they do have usually like offers due, or a current like due date when submissions are due. But because it is just marketing for the agency, it's a lot more flexible. Other things that are really good about sources sought is, sometimes it doesn't happen often, but once in a while, if the sort, like say you respond to a sources sought, and you're the only person that responded to it, sometimes they'll be like, oh, they might like you guys like your business a lot, and they might sole source to you guys. Or if there's two, like I said, if there's two small businesses that respond, and they'll make it a small business set aside. So that it's really good and really important to respond to those. So I'll show you what a sources sought looks like. Let's see. So we'll go and click here. So I actually put in notice type sources sought, and we'll just try to look at this one to kind of see what it looks like. As you can see, even solicitations, regular things, and sources thoughts, they all kind of have this similar kind of layout, notice ID, and then kind of like what's the department, sub-tier department, and subcommand, things like that. This is gonna be what kind of contract type is it. This is sources sought, and this is usually they have when is the response date by. So this is pretty important, especially for solicitation. For sources sought, it's still important to try to get it in by that date, but it's a little more flexible. One thing to note is like the actual time zone might be always different depending on the solicitation. So you got to be really careful about what time a zone that they're talking about, and getting it in, before that time. Usually I tell clients get it in, 1 day at least before. Going down here, it has classifications. This one doesn't have any set aside restriction because it's a sources sought notice, but it'll have the next codes, which is the kind of industry code that it's under, product service code, which is very similar to that, and place of performance, which is Georgia. As I was talking about earlier, they're talking about this is a sources sought synopsis and not a solicitation announcement. So basically, like I said, it's for marketing purposes or for fact-finding purposes, and is not a binding contract. This one's going into, it gives a small description about what the source is sought about, or what the project is going to be about. And then coming down here, usually they have like what this is response instructions. So you'll kind of craft a response in Word about exactly what they want. So contractor's name, address, point of contact with telephone numbers, business size, identity, things like that, just describing your capabilities for this kind of scope of work. So it kind of gives, this one gives a pretty detailed description about what they want. So, and where to send it to. So that's basically what a sources sought notice is. So I'll go back. Then instead, other notice types instead of sources sought that are important. So the other ones is pre-solicitation. So this is a notice that kind of comes out before they actually put out a real solicitation or a contract out for bid, just stating that, the agency is going to put out the contract. We'll put out the solicitation in a couple weeks. So that way you can kind of prepare. The other, I'd say, like other important one is the solicitation or combined synopsis solicitation. So what the difference between the two is solicitation is actually after, they do the sources sought, they do the pre-solicitation, then the solicitation comes out, which is like what you can respond to for the contract. The combined synopsis solicitation is kind of they combine the sources sought, kind of that marketing time, and then they'll just combine all of that into solicitation. So basically it's just going to be, instead of doing like this heavy marketing fact finding kind of notice, they'll just put everything into the solicitation. So we can kind of take a look at that. So I'll click on this, and then for example, we'll click on this playground installation. So just like the sources sought notice, this one has, the notice type, all of the different, descriptors, same as the sources sought. Oh, sorry. And then this one actually has the updated date offers due. So this for a synopsis solicitation or just a regular solicitation, this due date is very, very, very important. So this is going to be actually very strict versus the sources sought's a little more, not as strict. This one is, if you don't get it in by the certain date, you're not going to even be counted. Your bid's not going to be counted. So just really be careful about that. Reminder, time zone. And then if you scroll down, so this one, because it is actually a solicitation, this one's going to actually have what kind of set aside it is. This one is a small business set aside. So that means based off of this certain NICS code, if you are considered a small business from the SBA, then you would qualify. And usually a lot of, business, especially in Hawaii, would be considered small business. But they do have a small business, a tool or a table to find out if you are a small business or not. Usually that's based off of revenue per year. Sometimes, they won't even have a set aside. So a lot of contracts, because people don't respond to the sources sought notices, they'll just go out to all competition. So this won't even be here. Then it goes into the description. Usually, I would say solicitations have a shorter description because what happens a lot of times is, they'll have these attachments links here. So this is where you would download these PDFs, and then you would open them, and they, could range from, you know, maybe 10 pages or less to, like hundreds and hundreds of pages. So it really just depends. You would need to download and read very carefully each one. And sometimes you would definitely want to come back and check on these, the solicitation that you're trying to respond to, because they do update this a lot. And sometimes they, if there's questions, they usually have a question period. If they do have questions, they'll like attach the Q&A here in attachments. Sometimes if there's something they need to change, they'll make amendments. And if you don't come back and respond to the amendment or acknowledge that you've seen the amendment and address things that were in the amendment, then they might not look at your bid, just, or kick out your bid because you didn't respond to all of the things that were attached in the notice. Some of you may be asking, okay, like I don't have time to come here and look every day, to make sure. But if you're, trying to respond to a search and solicitation, I would just, it doesn't take that long to come back and, really just double check, quickly. Another way that you can kind of follow these, the solicitations that you're kind of actually trying to respond to is up here. There's this follow button. So if you sign in and click this, it will kind of help give you email notifications or some type of notification to help you to know that it was updated. Otherwise, you can come back to the site and kind of look down here past this contact information, but you can see down here that this one has been updated 3 times. So usually there's a history down here about how many times it was updated, and you want to always be on this, the most updated one here. So this one is the October 12th is the most updated. So we're on the right track. Otherwise, this other section is pretty important about contact information. Usually inside the solicitation, you'll see that there might be a question period, and also where to submit the solicitation. So you would want to double check that, but usually it's going to be this primary point of contact that you're going to need to send it to. But as I said, it really depends on what the solicitation says. So going back to the filters, we went over the 2 main ones. The other notice type, that the last notice type that is pretty important is down here, which is awards notice. So one, usually if you won the award, you can they'll put out awards notice, but they'll also contact you. But if you didn't win the award, then you can kind of see who won it with this awards notice. You can also search past contracts to kind of see who has won the, if it is a recurring contract or not, things like that. So you can use this in multiple ways too. Other filters that are important, kind of keep going down the filter list. This one I really like using a lot is the product or service information. This one is for next codes or the industry codes. So this is a really good way to kind of search for contracts that are kind of in your industry or you might be interested in, just not only besides the keyword search, up here. So you can use this next code to put in, and if you need help finding your next code, you can talk to us at Hawaii PTAC or Marla. Product service code is also similar to the next code. It's a different classification system, but basically what it is the military is using their kind of own product and service code like system where they're using, usually it's starts with a letter and then goes into numbers and letters, but that it's also just another classification system. If you go, this one's a little harder to find than the next codes. But if, for example, if we were doing this like AE design, for example, we were interested in this, you could go into the solicitation and then go down to this classifications. So, maybe we're engineering services, so we would know our next code by finding it on Google or from the Census Bureau website. But we could also go look at this solicitation and then go find what our product service code is right here, which is the for architects and engineering, general landscaping, interior layout and designing, which is the C211. So that's another way, kind of reverse engineering or reverse finding the product service code through solicitations in SAM. All right, down here, past product and service information, set asides. So this is, if you're looking for specifically if you were a veteran, service disabled, veteran owned small business or a women owned small business, you can come down here and, look for those certain set asides. So this one is for the set aside women owned small business in general. This one's for sole sourcing. So you can use this as another filter. Place of performance is really good. The one that I use a lot. There is a zip code, but I don't like using that because just it's a little too specific. Usually I just like going down here to state. So I'll go, like for example, Hawaii. Oh, sorry. And because we use Department Army, but yeah, all of the some of the Hawaii place of performance contracts out here, there's 24, but that's another way that you can search for in your state. Other ways you can search for a location is through keywords too. The other two, so contract awardee, this one's mainly used for if you're trying to do market research on, past awards or maybe your competition. For example, you want to see like maybe your competition, have they won or contracts, or how many contracts have they won? You can go down here and then type in the contractor awarded. They're basically their business name, entity name, unique ID number, which is the numbering system when you register in SAM or even in the state. And then finally, we have this status, which means the status of the contract. So usually, you would want to search for active. That means, the contract office has deemed this specific contract still active, which usually means that you can still, respond to that specific solicitation or sources sought. But as I said before, there are, because of the kind of merging of the different websites, there are some that are old contracts that are still considered active. They just haven't gone through all of them yet, but definitely active. But you can also click inactive, and this is more for like finding past contracts out there. So before it was 24 contracts, but now 27. So there is a little more inactive. There's also inactive contracts out there that you can kind of search to see, like, you can find out what was being put out before. Maybe you're trying to figure out, does certain agencies or does the military or the government buy your specific service or product? You can kind of see, was there contracts out there? How long ago were they? Things like that. There are more filters down here, but those are the main ones that I use. You can use all of these, in combination, or, as we kind of went through before, just using certain ones. But that's pretty much, how to look for contract opportunities in SAM. Marla, if we have any questions about SAM, we can field those now.
Does anyone have any question? Feel free to shout out or raise your hand or type it in chat. We can cover that now. on SAM. Otherwise, we put all these links as best we could into the chat, so you definitely can refer to them, refer to the recording, and conduct your searches. But I did want to emphasize, you know, we're here for support, because it can seem a little confusing, and there's a lot to it. So please check in with Nicholas at PTAC or myself, and we can definitely support your pursuits in your searches.
All right, great. So I guess I'll move on to hands then, Marla. Is that all right? Okay.
That would be terrific. So we're moving on to Hawaii specific portals. And for those of you not from Hawaii, I would encourage you to go to your local PTAC. We put the links in the chat, and you know, get in touch with them for similar types of portals in your area.
All right, so for Hawaii, our contract opportunities come through their own website, which is called HANDS, or the Hawaii Awards Notice Data System. They're trying to do something very similar to what, you know, SAM is for the federal government. They've been, you know, kind of aggregating all of their different old websites onto HANDS, and it's been pretty good in terms of, you know, trying to find what kind of contract opportunities are out there for the state. It does redirect you to their specific, you know, agency, you know, how they do contracts and how they procure. But, you know, just finding the opportunities is here on hand. So as you can see, this is the homepage. I just went to hands.ehawaii.gov. And then this is the homepage. You can go down here to this tab, bidding opportunities, or down here, this box, bidding opportunities. This one's pretty interesting because you can see it does give some other statistics about, you know, the different years and what kind of categories, like construction, goods and services, things like that. And you can even see more data, or it breaks it down by island or statewide. So if we look into bidding opportunities here. So you can see here, there's 233 opportunities that are open at the moment. This one's a little better about, you know, when the due date is actually done, then they'll move it over to contract awards or things like that. But this one is mainly keywords. You know, 233 is kind of a lot to look through, but at the same time, it's not too bad. But you can definitely just, you know, enter keywords in here. So for example, if you're looking for construction, again, you know, 73 results, and then it has different categories. But this one you can, you know, put in just keywords in general. It doesn't have to be big categories. It could be like lighting or light bulbs or pencils or things like that, or even the, you know, example keywords down here. It could be the island or even the department that you're looking for. There is more search criteria here if you really wanted to go into it. Categories, the specific island, you know, statuses, published date, and departments over here. So, you know, if you were looking for a specific, like City of County of Honolulu versus Hawaii County, you can look for those departments over here. Usually for this one, this is pretty simple. I just like going into keywords and typing in stuff. So how this kind of website works, so it's pretty interesting. So depending on the island and, you know, what kind of jurisdiction it is, then it kind of leads you to different websites. So I'll click on a few just to show you some examples. So for example, this one is embankment repair. So this one is jurisdiction executive. So that usually means usually it's not the Honolulu County, but more of like the state department. And usually if it is the state, then they'll, you know, send you over to this website, which is called High E Pro. So we'll look through here. It's where did it go? So it's going to send you to this High Pro. And one confusing thing that, happens to a lot of clients or even myself in the beginning was like you clicked on, this specific Waimea Beach embankment, but when it sent you over here, it just sends you to the home page. So that's a little confusing. So what I usually like to do is once you hit this page, then you go down here and search. And then you can actually type in keywords here too, or the solicitation number. So you could go back to this, if you're looking for this Waimea Beach embankment. So this solicitation number here, I would just highlight it, highlight this, and then just go in here and click into the solicitation number and search here. That way it's a little probably easier to find, especially for this High Pro. And then, yeah, exactly the same Waimea Beach embankment. And you can click into here and it gives you exactly, what the description is, who is the email, what's the contact person's name, kind of general comments, and then also attachments about what it looks like and the conditions and things like that. So this is kind of be the process of finding contracts or solicitations for the state. So it'd be going to hands, typing in keywords. If it's for the state, it'll kick you to High Pro, and then you would just go to their search function and then maybe, copy the solicitation number. Besides that, if you just want to look for state contracts, you could just go to search and then just type in keywords here too. So that's another way to go about searching for state contracts in Hawaii. Otherwise, they have, the different counties or, Department of Education might have different websites. So we can kind of look at different ones. So let's click on this. This one is for the county of Maui. So you can even see here that all of the information is already on hand. So that's kind of interesting here. This one kind of has most of the information, but also it does say go through our website, which is public purchase. So you would have to go down here to view other bids besides this one. So this one, this has all of the information and has the files to download, but it's kind of also kicking you to sometimes this public purchase. So there's also tabs up here, the contact information. So this is this is going to be the buyer's information and specific contact information about the director of finance, but usually you're going to be contacting this Kevin or whoever it is for the buyer. Let's see. Just to give you what this looks like, we can we'll take this and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is public purchase. The counties besides Honolulu use this site to do some of their contracts. So you can find the contract, but then you also have to go to public purchase, to you can search other ones for those different places, and actually you can click on the actual solicitation to find more information. So you would have to just register as a new vendor down here, but that's how you would kind of find more information for these specific types of contracts. Going back, yeah, you can just kind of play around with the different ones, but I think Department of Education has their own. So this one even has this Hawaii Electronic Procurement System website that's different. And then if I can find one for the Honolulu County, this one also has, this one is on hands. So this one should be fine. But sometimes contracts under a certain amount, they go through a portal, which is vendor self-service. So I can show you what that looks like. So that's pretty much it. This one is Hands is pretty easy to kind of just search through. The only problem is kind of going through the different, different local county websites or the state high E Pro. But just trying to find work throughout the state. Hands is a really good site to kind of just go and do that. So going to specifically Honolulu procurement website. So as it's saying here, most of it is in Hands, but I just wanted to show you real quickly what vendor self-service looks like. So vendor self-service, there's a bunch of guides here on how to use it, but if you just want to look for, public access, what is the current opportunities out there, you can go to, sorry, oh, what happened? Vendor self-service, and then click public access down here. Let me share that screen. Did it click through? I guess it did. Can you see this still, Marla? Sorry. I think so.
I don't see anything on the screen. It's blank.
Oh, really? Okay. Weird. Hold on. How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, through just public access, if you just wanted to see some of the solicitations that Honolulu County is putting up, usually they're a little on the smaller side, but you can see, furnish and deliver sheet music storage units or fabricated building, ball valve. So you can also check down here about, there aren't many opportunities, but there are some here if you're interested in the county of Honolulu procurements, smaller procurements. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the state and local counties. You would just have to play around with the different ones. I know it's a lot of information, but if you need help, just feel free to reach out to me. Does anybody have questions about the state side? Okay, if we're good, then I will go into a little bit about Bidmatch and how it can help you to find the different opportunities. Hold on. All right. So Bidmatch, it's a really good resource that we offer through PTAC. As long as you're an active client, which is you sign up in our system, 30 minutes of counseling per year, or attending event that we host or we're a speaker at. Basically what it is through a partnership with a third party, which is called Outreach Services. We're going to send you a list of procurement notices in an email, and this is based off of a profile that we create together with you. So this is done through kind of like a program algorithm thing, and it searches most of the major sites that post government contracts, such as the ones that we just looked at, which is SAM.gov. If it's Hawaii, then it'll search through, Hands and High E Pro and the vendor self-service, things like that. And like I said, this is based off of your industry code, which is NICS codes or the PSC codes that we were talking about earlier, or relevant keywords. So you'll meet with me or one of the other counselors, and they'll help you to put this together. Bidmatch in general is used by a lot of the major, government contracting companies or the companies that do government contracting. They do have a lot of other companies that provide this service. Usually it's for a cost, but it is sometimes a little more detailed or kind of, I guess, like the interface is a little nicer or more updated. But our Bidmatch is no cost for Hawaii PTAC clients. If you're from the mainland, other PTACs have this service. Sometimes it's free, same as us, or sometimes you just have to pay a small fee. Um, if you were to get this service outside in a private company, usually it's going to be like hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on the company. So it is really a good resource to reach out to your local PTAC for this option if they have it. Some additional, benefits. So this is an additional resource for up-to-date procurement opportunities. So I'm not saying not to go, I use this and not to go search SAM or not to go search HANS. And this is the only way that you would, search for contracts, but it is just another resource to help you find things that you might have not seen. So, this is just another tool in the tool belt. I'll show you what it looks like, but it gives a consolidated list of opportunities that come out that day in an email. And then as I said, it kind of sometimes searches databases that you might not always look at. So just going really specific into what the profile kind of what you would have to put into the system with us. It'd be location. So based off of where you want to be searching for these opportunities, which is any states in the US, could be US territories such as, Guam, Micronesia, those places, or Pacific Rim. Could even be foreign countries. There are contract opportunities out there. And then, so the one is location, the other is industry codes, next code, PSC codes, like I said earlier, and then keywords. So this is what the email would kind of look like. So it's, welcome to Bidmatch. It's gonna, give you a date and like how many articles there are. So this articles means like how many, opportunities the Bidmatch actually found for you, and if you read it or not. So you would then go click on one of the dates, and then it would kind of show you what exactly it found. So this, for example, is a procurement that's set out by the Department of Defense, and this one's specifically for working dog treatment facility replacement. And it shows, what keywords or NICS codes it used in its search. So this one was construction, which is the NICS code 236220. You would click on the title, and then it would show, what exactly it found and where to find where it found the opportunity. So usually this is pretty short in terms of the description just inside Bidmatch and the email, but you would want to go to this, see down here where it says URL, it will say, it will send you back to SAM, and then you can find, the actual, attachments and view everything that is needed for that specific solicitation or opportunity. And yeah, that's it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to type it in chat.
We have just a couple of minutes here till our close at noon, so you can also shout it out if you have any questions. I did want to point out that Nicholas is helping us with a little workshop next week on putting together your capability statement. So I did want to give him a minute to say what a capability statement is and how that would assist you in contracting.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so a capability statement basically is like a resume for your business, and it's used a lot in government contracting, especially when you're doing networking or meeting with sometimes some of the different government agencies or prime contractors or other business partners in the industry. Basically, it's going to be like a one-pager usually that you're going to give out, you'll bring to conferences or other things like that. And it has a few major sections, one of which is past performance, your core competencies, and differentiators, which is kind of like what is the value that you can bring for the specific agency or prime contract that you're trying to sub for, or things like that. So yeah, we'll be doing a workshop, and if you're interested in putting one together, then feel free to reach out to Marla and sign up for that.
Thanks. I am still on mute. No, I'm not. Thank you, Nicholas. I really appreciate it. Leilani, yes, it is a lot of work to go through. That's kind of why we wanted to kind of give you an overview. As time allows, you can do that for your business, or you can reach out to Nicholas, sign up for PTAC, and let us help you with that process. We also have a contracting counselor to help you with that process, and then to begin marketing yourself with this capability statement. Once you have get into the role of it and understand the overview of how it all works, I think you'd be much more comfortable in working on your own. But it is a lot of information, so definitely reach out for your free resources.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of building off with Marla, what Marla said is, it is more about just like, going and trying to do it yourself. You can gain, experience through doing a lot of times. So feel free to reach out to Marla for the recording, and you can follow along and try to, search for your industry or search for things that you want to look for on SAM too.
So thank you, everybody. Follow up with both of us, either of us, and we'll be sure to answer your questions and kind of take your personal situation one bite at a time. You'll see the resources and links in chat, so I hope you copied those. And then if you checked, yes, I would like emails on this webinar registration form, then you'll hear about future programs related to certification and contracting. So I want to thank Nicholas, and for all of you coming, stay in touch, and we are here to help you. Appreciate it. Have a great week.
Thank you, guys. Have a great